Hello, welcome to my channel, Manifesting with Mommamuchca. Hi, my name is Rachel. In this video, I wanted to talk about thoughts and if thoughts matter. Which, yes, thoughts absolutely do matter when you're manifesting your dream life and you're manifesting your desires. There's a couple of newer-ish channels. Maybe they've been out for a while, but like newer movements of like the I am and just identify with that you don't need I've heard in a few different people, like you don't need self concept and that you can just identify with who you want to be and that's it. And that you aren't your thoughts and thoughts don't matter. And I am finding I don't agree with that fully because the thoughts, yes, 100% your thoughts don't create themselves, but they reveal and reinforce what you're identified with. So that's the important part of thoughts. Your thoughts and your mental diet is a very useful tool to know what you're identified with. So like if you identify like per some of these, because I tried this a couple of different times. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna identify with I'm a married woman and be it and drop it and not do any affirmations or any techniques or any sats to kind of like go around that to support this. I felt like my mental diet, my thoughts got worse and more out of control. For me, this is my personal life, my experience. The affirmations keep me on track. The affir and you know what I there isn't a set amount you got to do. I mean, whether you do it for 15 minutes a day or 3 times a day for 10 minutes at a time or 10 minutes 5 times a day, to consistency. You need consistency. Or if you're doing robotic affirmations, just don't burn yourself out. And then consistency. You need to do, in my opinion, for me, I like sats. I need to do sats most days. Scripting, I do scripting here and there. I don't do scripting every day. It's the consistency of doing something each day, in my opinion, towards changing your mental diet, towards switching into withholding that new identity and switching into that new identity will create the new neural pathways for then you will switch in you will I've seen it with me. I've seen it where over time my thoughts, like if I had a lot of negative thoughts, like last summer towards my romantic person, I had a lot of negative thoughts. And with persisting, my thoughts have totally changed. And like now too, I'm like working on the desiring to be married and committed, like a strong commitment. And I'm working on, I just pecking away at it every day, whether some affirmations, some EFT tappings, or SATs, or all three in the day. Whatever I can fit in here and there, it's getting nice out in summertime. You know, if I go for a run, that's a great time. I can listen to affirmations while I go for a run. Cleaning the house, listen to affirmations. But it's not that your thoughts create, because you create from your awareness. You actually do. So I do agree. The people that are making videos saying that, you know, that you're creating from your awareness, that your thoughts don't matter, and that you are creating from what you identify with. Yes. But thoughts are very very useful, very handy, and I think that they need to be it needs to be part of your lifestyle of manifesting, to be aware of your thoughts and to, not that you have to freak out over them or fear them. That's another thing. You don't need to fear your thoughts. I used to. When I first started this, I really feared my thoughts. It's looking at your overall dominant thoughts. You can gather so much information with your overall dominant thoughts. in with your overall dominant thoughts. So like, okay, so say, even with me. So let's say I identified with being a married woman. Right now, I'm a married woman, and then I drop it, but I'm having thoughts throughout the day. Oh, he'll never marry me. Oh, it's going to take 20 years. Oh, I'm not good enough. I've already been married. His mom will never like me. Oh, my kids are annoying. He's not gonna, just like if the list keeps looping on and on and on of reasons why he would not marry me, then I'm in the state of not being chosen and not being married. And I'm not even identified with being married whatsoever. So this is where thoughts matter. But if I do my affirmations, I'm a married woman, find some affirmations. I did a video, there's some wonderful channels. It's got great affirmations, and I think Affirmation Station, she's got a lot of married, just since I'm speaking about being married, like married affirmations that are very soothing, musical. Hey, go for a run and I can listen to being married affirmations, and I can identify with being married, and I can feel the feeling of being married, and just keep working on identifying with that. And then automatic as I keep doing that, pecking away with that, being persistent day after day, those will start becoming automatic, feeling natural, and then I'll automatically identify with that, which then will be, then my awareness will create it in my feeling state, and yes, then it'll outpicture and create. So yes, so thoughts are a tool to redirect your state. Yes, you don't have to believe every thought. Yeah, I took some notes. Thoughts, you need to work on choosing thoughts that align with your desired identity. So this is where it's important too. And this is where, like, Neville talked a lot about mental diet, because you need to be working on a lot. And that's like me, like going on a run. And if I'm listening to affirmations on being a married woman or being married, or I don't know, couple whatever affirmations, then I'm choosing thoughts, and I run for 45 minutes to an hour at a time. So I mean, that's like a whole hour of me getting affirmations in and living and impressing that in my subconscious of and working on being in that state of being married and being chosen and all that. Then, so here, this is your thoughts crystallize into assumptions. So that's another thing too. A repeated thought becomes a belief. Beliefs harden into assumptions. And as we all know from Neville, what you assume to be true hardens into fact. So you don't have to fear your thoughts. Like I said, you don't have to fear them. But if you are, if I identify as a married woman, and then just say, and then I'm sitting here thinking crappy thoughts all day long, how he'll never choose me, he'll never marry me, he'll never commit to me, then that's my assumptions. My assumptions are going to override who I'm identifying with by my do you know what I mean? If that's what my thoughts are doing all day long, he'll never, or even here's another sneaky one. Where is it? When's this going to happen? When's he going to propose? When's he going to have the talk? When? How? How's he going to propose? How are we getting married? How's this going to go down? No. Bypass it. Keep working on your thoughts. I am married. Keep identifying. Keep affirmations. We have a beautiful, loving marriage. I'm using the marriage, but what about even money? Let's talk about money for a second. If you identify with being a multimillionaire, and you do, I create from my I am, so I'm going to identify, and I don't create from my thoughts. I create from my I am, so I identify with being a multimillionaire, and you drop it. But then you're sitting there all day long, man, this bill, I'm so broke. How am I going to pay for this? I'm so broke. Oh, well, my thoughts don't matter. I'm creating because I identify with being a multimillionaire. But are you really identifying with being a multimillionaire if you're sitting there thinking scarcity thoughts all day long, thinking about how broke you are and thinking about how you're going to pay this next bill? So, yeah, so thoughts do matter because they shape and solidify your assumed identity. They keep you anchored to a state or help you shift into the new state or shift into your new identity. They reveal what you're really aware of being. So, thoughts definitely matter. Yes, so you're not your thoughts. You are your state of being or who you identify with. And your state of being generates your thoughts too. That's another thing. So, but then you can, since with conscious creation, because you can consciously choose what you think. Then you can work on choosing what you think. So then with that, I can sit there and back to the marriage thing. I can sit there and I can identify with being a married woman, realize if I'm saying negative loops of, oh, that'll never happen, that'll never work out, or how is that ever going to happen, oh my gosh. Or I know another huge story, oh, he's avoidant, he's so avoidant, he only sees me once a week, how are we ever going to get to being married? Oh, he likes the space, or she likes her space, so she freaks out, all this negative fear talk. If I sit there and feed into that, see, I can consciously choose different thoughts. Oh, I am so amazing, I am so magnetic, I'm so radiant, and I'm already chosen, and I'm already lovable, and I just like keep repeating these over in my head, that of course they want to be around me more and more. Of course they choose me. Of course they see how wonderful I am. Of course they want to get married to me. Of course or you can start with they want to be married, and then you can start working into, well, of course they're married to me. We already got married, of course, and just keep on working on your SATs sessions and that, and start really feeling it natural, feeling it real. The thoughts, when you're conscious, and that's what you do, is you're choosing better, you're working on choosing better thoughts. And it takes a minute. It takes a minute. It's not like you're going to be able to do it in a day. Some people can do it faster than others. Me, I find that it takes me a little while to get into my new thoughts and get into a new thought pattern. And affirmations, EFT tappings, SATs, the wonderful tools to help get a control of your mental diet, help get you into a new state, shift you into the new state, shift you into the new identity. That way, and it does. I am dead. From experience, as I've shifted, my thoughts change too. So once you do start automatically thinking, like I had the other day I had, because I've been working on this and I don't live with my person, but I had this thought. I'm like, oh, he's going to be home for dinner soon. I need to make extra food for him. Like that thought just automatically popped up. So just like automatically thoughts will happen. I've heard of people like at the grocery store having automatic thoughts of like, oh, I need to buy food for my husband, or I need to buy food for my wife, or need to buy food for my partner. Like if you're manifesting living together. I haven't had those thoughts yet, but I'm sure those thoughts will. I have had thoughts where I've woken up and I've like been like if he hasn't spent the night, or if I haven't spent the night at his house, I have had thoughts of like, as I'm awakening, I've had thoughts of, oh, my honey's next to me. That I do have automatic thoughts now of that since I've been working on this. Yes, you don't have to micromanage your thoughts out of fear. That's another thing. you're just working on, this is a practice, this is a lifestyle, this is a process, this is where persistence comes in. It takes a minute for your neural pathways to change. It takes a minute to train your brain to think differently. It takes a minute for you to switch your beliefs, switch your identity, and all of that. But anyway, I think I'm going to stop here. I hope that was helpful and useful, that I do take my thoughts, like, I don't freak out over them, and I don't have fear over them anymore like I used, like a year ago. But I do take my thoughts very seriously, and like what are my dominant stories, what are my dominant thoughts, and if I am having and it's amazing how to you can find so much information by your thoughts too, like what your dominant kind of little stories are saying. Even let's do, because I'm now working on changing this. I've had some dominant thoughts I've realized in my head, because I did say I was having some issues with my daughter. I had some dominant thoughts that I don't matter. She's an adult now, and you know how, as kids switch into adulthood, how they get rebellious, in which that's a belief that we grow up with that's all culture, and we grow up with the belief that our teenagers into adults, they want to do what they want to do and all that. Well, I realized that I had a dominant thought that I don't matter as a mother, as a parent, and we've been clashing, and I'm working on changing that. So that's another like, I got to change those thoughts, because I'm in the state and I'm identifying with not mattering. So I've been working on doing some affirmation, not a whole lot, just a little bit, some affirmations of that, I do matter. That me and my daughter's relationships gets better and better. I've done some ho'oponopono towards it too, because we've gotten in some fights over the last couple of months. And to clear the air, clear forgiveness, to stop, to not keep rebuilding resentment. And I've done a couple SAT sessions here and there. So I'm just, pecking away with, and I've noticed that I'm starting to stabilize out. Those thoughts aren't as dominant, and I'm starting to feel like I matter more as a mom. And guess what? Our conversations in the last week or so, our conversations are changing. The energy's changing, our conversations are changing, and they're much more loving, and they're more productive. So but I had to become aware of my thoughts, realize and I know my thoughts matter. Do the work to change my beliefs, change my thoughts, identify with being a mom that matters. And then now things are turning around. I'm not where I want to be with her yet. I'm not even thinking how or when. I just keep going to the assumption that it's already done, that I do matter. So I'm just working on that and letting it go to let the universe, source, God figure it out for me. But my job is to work on my thoughts, keep working on what I identify with, bringing it all into consciousness, what's going on, and creating from what I am aware of and what I do have a choice that I can do. So hope that's all helpful, and I will talk to you later. All right. Have a good day. Bye.